Good day, ladies and gentlemen, humans of planet Earth, and whatever other dimensions or galaxies you might be watching me from. I don't know. Right? I would just like to speak to you about how yoga impacts your day-to-day life and how yoga can help you to just bring more harmony into communication and your relationships with friends, or in this case, it's with a stranger that I met at the gym. So I was at the hot tub in the gym, just max relaxing, chilling all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of the school, when a couple of guys that were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. My mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and your uncle in Bel Air." So I felt like this guy was trying to cause a problem with me. So he was sitting across from me in the hot tub, and he got to leave, and he exited the hot tub, grabbed his stuff, and then as he was standing over me, he turned around and he said, "Hey, how old are you?" With a bit of a smile on his face. So I kind of felt like he might want to troll me, or he might... I knew what it was. It was the gray hair. He never said that, though, but I kind of intuitively picked up that he probably looked at my gray hair and assumed that I was... Maybe he thought that I looked young for... Maybe he thought that I was like 60 years old because of my gray hair, and he was going to compliment me because I looked young, but I'm not 60 years old. I'm 32, so I told him my age. And he was like, "Oh, I'm 27. That's pretty close to me." And then I just said, "Okay, have a good night." Because I wanted the conversation to end quickly, because I didn't want to create a problem, right? Because I was going to call him out on something like, "Oh, you making fun of my gray hair?" I wouldn't have said that, but I would have said, "Oh, is it just the gray hair that you're wondering about?" I would have said something like that. But that could end up into a conversation that's not harmonious, and it could end up into a fight. And I could be the one who's causing it, right? If I all of a sudden think that this guy's just trying to make fun of me in the hot tub, but his intentions could be different. He could want to compliment me because he thinks that I'm older than I actually am, but I think I look pretty young for 32, but I don't know what his intention was, but I assumed, oh, this guy wants to pick a fight, or this guy wants to start something with me, right? And I've spoke to so many other brain injury survivors who've told me that, yeah, I get in fights with people all the time. Some people have told me that's how they end up in jail, because they just think that people that come up to them are trying to attack them, or trying to, cause a problem. So this has been, the biggest... I don't like being around people for this reason, because I don't know what you're going to do. And if I don't know what you're going to do, right, it saves me a lot of problems to just do my own thing. And lots of other people with brain injury can relate to this too. This is just how it goes. It's easier to just live your life. You have less problems, less drama. If you have a brain injury, you can relate to this, but your brain is playing tricks on you constantly. You don't know what to trust anymore. You can't even trust yourself. Alright? But because I didn't react, and I didn't just assume he was trying to make fun of me, and I paused, I was able to avoid a conflict or a confrontation with him, and I wished him a good night. I hope I see him again. Maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we have something in common, I doubt it, but... Or maybe he was going to compliment me on my physique. I don't know, but my first inclination was that he was going to say something about my gray hair, and that was going to, it doesn't really trigger me because I do it purposefully. I don't dye my hair, one, because I don't want to spend money just to make myself look, this is how I look. You either like me or you don't. I don't care either way. Right? I mean, you see so many people, especially in spirituality, where they spend so much money in making themselves look good. They spend money on plastic surgery, but they're selling spiritual products, and it's like, do you actually understand what what spirituality is about? But anyways, you know what I see is most in the spiritual space, I see a lot of narcissism. Maybe not a lot of narcissists, but a lot of people that care about how... I see a lot of people who are very vain, but at the same time, they try to brag about how I'm so humble, right? But they're not humble. They're the least humble. Anyways. It doesn't matter. I'm not speaking about anyone specifically, but this is the general vibe that I get from the whole spiritual community. It's not spiritual. It's all about social status. It's all about just bullshit. It's like high school all over again. So again, if I had yoga when I was in high school, it would have run a lot more smoothly for me. I would have gotten less fights with people, less arguments. A lot of stuff would not have bothered me at all. Right? But they don't teach you this stuff in high school. They don't teach you about becoming the witness to your suffering. They don't teach you that you're not the body. I wonder why. Right? They don't teach you that you're stronger than your body. They don't teach you that your body is the strongest tool that you are ever given in life. Your brain is the strongest, most resilient tool that you have. Yet the world is filled with people who are just giving up on themselves because they don't understand what I'm trying to teach you. I don't want to be paid to teach people this because the world is suffering on a mass scale and it's not getting better until good people show up to make it better. And I'm not saying that's me, but I'm going to try. So this has kind of been proven to me as I've progressed on my meditation path, and when I first started to meditate, I could only meditate for like a half hour, and then when I took my trainings and my retreats, I could meditate for an hour and a half at a time, and then it expanded to 2 hours at a time, and then I was able to meditate for 2.5 hours at a time. This was all a process, and I had to take retreats and different trainings in order to do this, because you don't... Try it. Try to sit down and meditate for a half hour. You're not going to do it. You need to already have a meditation practice. It's too much of a shock for your body and for your subtle body, especially. Your mind is just going to get shocked. And that's why meditation is so difficult. Because yes, it's a path. It's a practice that you progress on. It's not about being perfect. It's not about... This is why I say that it's such BS that so many people promote this. They promote that yoga makes you a perfect, happy person. That's not true. That's what people want to market to vulnerable people, to make them believe that if I practice yoga, I'm going to be a perfect person. No. That may be true if you've never had a concussion or a brain injury or you don't have anxiety, right? But not everybody is the same. We're not all, right? Some of us have physical issues, and if our physical issues are keeping us from practicing yoga and we want to get to that perfect life that we see on Instagram, we're never going to get there because we can't do it. We're going to beat ourselves up. We're going to stay stuck in a low vibration. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. So I'm not trying to say anybody's doing anything bad, but this whole the way that yoga is portrayed is very flawed, you know. Because yoga is about being real. It's not about... There's a lot of toxic positivity and stuff, and anyways, it doesn't really matter, but it's these little moments in life that can make or break you. You know, I go back, I reminisce and I think, like, what happened, what would have happened if I actually took offense, or if I confronted that guy and I said, like, oh, are you just making fun of my gray hair, bud? You making fun of my gray hair, bud? Oh, I'm not going to accept that. Like, what if I did that? Like, you know, what if I didn't pause? What if I didn't think when I paused, and I didn't think... I actually smiled when he said that to me because I knew what he would have said, gray hair. But I didn't bring it up to, like, he was kind of awkward about it and he seemed kind of nervous, but I didn't bring up the gray hair to kind of, shove it in his face, you know what I mean? Because he seemed like a cool guy and I didn't want to, trigger him. Because that's how arguments and fights happen. Some guy says something to you that triggers you, and then you say something smart back to him that triggers him, and then it just goes back and forth till someone gets punched in the face. And nobody wins. You both lose. Someone either gets charged or someone gets punched in the face. Nobody is a winner when we fight. You know? But that's how the world works. It just happens. Because people don't... You need to practice yoga. Because people don't pause and they don't... Right? When you practice yoga and when you slow down... I keep repeating myself with this, but... This is why it's a practice. You're practicing... remembering who you're supposed to be. You're practicing remembering. You're being brought back to who you were as a child. You didn't care about Sally down the street. You didn't care about that guy making fun of your hair, right? That's who you're supposed to be, but becoming adults and growing up, we get clouded with hatred from other people. We get insults thrown at us. We get all this blockage. We get all these blockages built up, and that's basically how people stay in a low vibration, is that they're very blocked and they can't see the oneness in society. They don't, right? They're racist, maybe they're whatever. But, you know, I had no hatred towards the guy who wanted to talk to me, and so I didn't want to argue with him. I wished him a good day as he left, and you know, it's funny because part of me I actually like to see the reactions that people give me when I'm in public. Just, I feel like my life is boring any other way, but it's just funny to me when people give me reactions like, "Well, how old are you?" Or they notice my gray hair and they'll just say something weird. I find it funny. So it entertains me, you know. It's like, why would I pay money to dye my hair? Like, women pay money to bleach their hair. Like, people pay money to make their hair look like mine. So it just doesn't make any sense to me to pay money to make my hair to make me look younger. I like looking older. I am a more mature person, you know. So I think it suits me. I love it. So anyways, I hope that you get some value out of that and you can understand that I don't know. Maybe not when people are trying to trigger you, but when you get triggered by other people, that is not being triggered by other people is not a reason for you to react. Being triggered by other people is a reason for you to smile about it and to be lighthearted and to question and to understand. It's not to react and to go off the handle and to get put in a jail cell or get punched in the face, right? Next time I get punched in the face, I could die. Like, seriously. So I'm good. But you know, if you're a man living in society, snap of a finger, that's all it can take. And you gotta move wisely, and you gotta be slow mentally, not in that way, but the way that you process things, especially if you have a brain injury. Because with a brain injury, a lot of the issue is that everything's just happening so quickly, and you don't have time to just pause. That's why yoga is so beneficial to me and to anyone else that I've taught yoga who has a brain injury. Because going to the gym is not going to slow you down, bro. You're just going to go right back to the drugs. You're going to go right back to... Look at me. I went right back to my skateboard, and slowly... I haven't rode my skateboard in a couple months now, but the more yoga I practice, the less I want to skateboard. And the gym's not doing that for me. I haven't quite figured out how to explain this yet, but I will. There's a difference between yoga and going to the gym and just pushing yourself. And the difference is slowing down and noticing all of these small things that can make a world of difference for you. So yoga is not just a physical practice. In my opinion, it's one of the best practices you can get into. I mean, if you're concerned about building a body, you can combine it with weight exercise, and it's a beautiful combination. But, you know, yoga is the best way to enhance every aspect of your life. The gym is not going to do that for you. If you have a brain injury, right? That's what I should say. The gym might work for you if you've just got a little bit of anxiety. Like, let's have a scale. You just got a bit of anxiety, you got mental disorders, it's down here. You're going to have some troubles, but you're going to get over it. You have a brain injury, it's up here on the Glasgow scale. It's off the Richter scale. Okay? Brain injury, you got this for the rest of your life. You're probably never going to recover from it. You are going to need constant help for the rest of your life. And nobody in your life is really going to help you. It's just you. Getting a brain injury is pretty much a death sentence. But nobody really understands that. They just think, oh, well, I had an anxiety disorder. That's the same thing. No, it's not. It's not even fucking close. And I never knew until I had a brain injury. So I'm telling you now. So hopefully you never experience it, but it's something else. So I hope that was able to help you. I hope you got some value out of that little talk. If you have any questions about yoga, just feel free to message me at any time. Have a good day or good night.